Aloha mai kako. My name is Auli'i Cravalho, and I play Hailey Banks in Disney's Hailey's on It.
So, in your upcoming Hailey's on It, you play the comedic and cute protagonist, Hailey. What drew you to the character at first?
So Hailey Banks is a young teen who has a long list of things that she really wants to do, like a bucket list, say. And she's always been too afraid to do them. But suddenly she is visited by a scientist from the future who tells her, Hailey Banks, you must complete every one of these list items if you want to save the world. And thus begins our adventure. And I've been so lucky to play characters, specifically voiceover characters, who want to make the world a better place, who face their fears, who are the heroes of their own story. And so when Hailey was presented to me, I was like, oh, I see you. That's so fun. Of course, I would love to bring life to her. And I've just had such a great time through recording the series.
So Hailey is tasked, as you mentioned, with completing her list in order to reverse climate change and consequently save the world. If you were given the same task, what would be a couple items on your list?
I were given the same task. Well, I'll be honest, I want to go to school for environmental science. So that would be first on my list. Yes, it'll take some time, but I think it's incredibly worth it. And then what else would I do? Oh, I would make a sunscreen that doesn't harm our natural reefs, because it is important to reapply sunscreen. But as we all know, it washes off into the ocean and creates a film over our algae and our coral reefs. And it's similar to our pores, like it clogs the little holes, which this is not the correct way to say it, but they breathe through those holes and it kills off natural coral reefs. So that's the second thing I would do. And there are reef safe sunscreens. Yes.
I mean, I'm gonna definitely have to look that up after the interview ends. So when watching the show, one of the best aspects was the very heartwarming and potentially romantic friendship that you have with Scott. What were your favorite scenes of you two interacting with one another?
Oh gosh, there are so many great quips. I think what's also very unique about our story is that Hailey's 14, and I remember how I flirted when I was 14, and that was like with quick little jabs. And that is also so prevalent in Scott and Hailey's relationship, is that they are best friends. Like that is her ride or die. They hold each other accountable. They support each other in their dreams, but they're also children, So Hailey wrote in her long list of things that she wants to do or needs to do when she was significantly younger than this, like, oh, I should kiss Scott Denoga. And now she's like fighting her feelings. She's like, I don't want to ruin our friendship. And these are all cringeworthy, but relatable themes that I think all of us can kind of relate to.
Definitely. So we also see very cute scenes with Hailey and her dad and her singing with her uncles. And I feel like that type of familial relationship isn't, especially for people of color, isn't really portrayed in a lot of entertainment, even more so in like animation. So what was it like bringing that dynamic into the show?
I really love Hailey Banks's like family picture. We have a really strong mom, who's played by Julie Bowen. And then, yes, Hailey's dad is also of Pacific Island descent. He is played by Cooper Andrews. And throughout our series, like you'll hear also Hawaiian words sprinkled in there. We talk about spam musubi. We talk about her dad's like killer fried rice recipe. We also have like the representation of Manny Jacinto, who is of proud Filipino descent. And Scott's last name is Denoga. Like these are just small, but I think like really important and pivotal details to our series that especially when catered to a younger audience, like it just becomes like normal. We also have like divorced parents in our series, and it's just like, this is what life looks like, and with animation, we can make it super fantastical, where Hailey is defending herself from chaos bots sent from the future. But then we can also just have real conversations about, what it means to be in a loving and inclusive family. And I'm very proud of that diversity and that inclusivity, both shown in the animation, but also in our writers' rooms and in our cast. It feels so good. And I think our story is that much richer because we've included it.
Yeah, that's something I really noticed about the show, was there are like these different relationships, but each one of them feels so authentic and genuine that it made the show so fun to watch overall.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you.
So you do mention Hailey fighting chaos bots. We see her trying to, prevent them from stopping her from saving the world eventually. Have you faced any literal or metaphorical chaos bots that you've had to fight off in your own life?
Ooh, that's a really good question. That's a really good question. I have not yet had to fight off any chaos bots in real life, though I'm looking forward to it. But I still audition a lot, and I still don't get a lot of like my auditions, so that feels like free labor, which kind of gets me down sometimes. What else? Anytime I'm driving in LA traffic, I feel like it's kill or be killed out there. I'm constantly avoiding someone who just doesn't check their blind spot or know how to use their blinker. And I'm also really hoping to go to college. So like that's something that's on my long list of things I really want to do, like one of those dreams of mine. So Hailey inspires me to take the small steps to slowly but surely cross that off my list.
That's so sweet. I'm sure you'll be able to achieve, especially college and your environmental studies goals.
Thanks.
So while Hailey is a fun adventure comedy overall, the show hints at ongoing topics about climate change and, its impacts we've seen so far. Why do you think this is such an important topic to talk about, especially in like entertainment or media?
Ooh, I feel very strongly about the subject. Like I genuinely want to learn about environmental studies. And I was born and raised in Hawaii, and we're one of the first places to really feel the effects of that climate change. And we are on such a brink, so to speak, with our world, and it is so beautiful. And we have become so jaded, and we haven't been, I think, appreciating it for all that it's done. And I think we've also been taking for granted the consequences for our actions, So I think having this natural disaster as kind of the ticking clock for our series is actually very on the nose. And so it brings light to that topic while still empowering our young people to still make that difference and to be conscious of the decisions that you make. Because I know that if I were 14 or I were a young viewer and I was told from like someone in the future that you're going to save the world, like the decisions that you make are going to make lasting impacts, that's going to like just save us all, like how incredible would that be? We would believe in ourselves, we would take those risks. And so I hope when people watch our show that they take that away, that you are important, that like the world is your oyster, who knows what you'll accomplish, So I truly mean that Hailey inspires me, and I hope to save the world from climate change as well. That's a dream that we want to.
I'll be looking forward to it for sure. So while sometimes hesitant, Hailey is very outspoken about her ideas and her passions, like especially in episode 6. Like your character, are there some issues that you can't help but feel passionate about and speak up on?
Well, first of all, I haven't even seen to episode 6, so lucky you. I've seen up to 3.
It's
I'm
so
glad.
good.
I'm so glad. There's so many topics I feel passionate about. And that's also a reason why like this gets into social media for me, because I think so many of us get our news from social media, and it is so easy to be an ally for so many causes. And I think too many times we think, oh, we need to just choose one and like stick to it. No, 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 no. We can say and, like, this is important to me, and this is also important to me. So for me, climate change is really important to me. Protecting our oceans are really important to me. Diverse and inclusive casting is really important to me. Also, fighting for native land is really important to me. So I have a lot of wants, and I think this younger generation, truly like Gen Z, is making the change that we want to see, because we also feel that ticking clock, like I mentioned before. So yeah, did I answer your question?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay.
So as we finish up the interview, is there anything you'd like to share or say to the NextShark audience?
There are so many wonderful things that you will create, and there are so many decisions that you will make that you aren't even conscious of yet, that will shape your future in the most wonderful way. And the only way that you'll see those come to fruition is if you keep on keeping on. And I look forward to seeing you wonderful people of color in every room that I step into, whether that be right next to me in front of the camera, or behind the camera being the filmmaker, or if you are a writer and you want to be in that writer's room, or a director, or a producer, or an astronaut, or a teacher. There are so many spaces that are lacking our stories and our representation. And I believe in you, and I can't wait to see you in those rooms.
That was so wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. I love the energy that you bring, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. I feel the same way about you. This is so much. I can't wait to speak to you again.
Thank you.
Bye.